Mark Starr from Hopry.com. Glad you could join me again. Today we're going to be taking a look at a beer that sounded really good to me. I was really in the mood for a oak-aged Imperial Stout tonight for some reason, not really sure why, except for the fact that they're generally really good. But as I was kind of downstairs looking for something to review next, this Espresso Oak-Aged Yeti from Great Divide out of Colorado really stood out to me. This is a bottle that I have been hanging on to for just a little bit over a year now. In fact, the bottled on date here says that it was bottled on April 2nd of 2010. So this is just a touch over a year old. It clocks in at 9.5%. It is aged on oak chips, and then they add espresso to it as well. So I don't know that I've had the espresso oak-aged version. I know if you go back and look at, I think it was probably session number 6, I reviewed their regular oak-aged Yeti, which I remember really liking, and I've had that one maybe once or twice since. But anyway, really looking forward to this one. I've read some pretty good things about it. Great Divide, generally does a really good job with this line. I think they've probably got about 5 or 6 of these right now. So, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get this one in a glass and see what's going on. Well, man, I'll tell you right away, just pouring it and looking at it while I was pouring it, this has got probably one of the most amazing looking, chocolatey heads on it that I've ever seen on an Imperial Stout. I mean, honestly, I think that might be one of the best looking heads on a beer around. But it's got that jet black color. You're not going to see anything through it. In fact, it's really acting as a mirror right now, and all I can see is my reflection in it. So, that'll give you a really good idea of just how dark that is. I don't see any light coming through it. I don't even see any plum or raisin colors on the edges. What I can do, though, is already smell it. And if you'll notice, I have the glass above my nose, so it's pretty amazing that I can already smell this beer, but I can't. So why don't I go ahead and get these nostrils down into the glass, and man, I'll tell you, I can already smell this thing. I'm super excited. All right, well, here we go. Okay, so right away, there is a ton of oak in here. So I'm imagining because they've aged this with oak chips, instead of the oak barrel, that's really kind of giving it more of an oaky character than maybe you would get from the barrels. Now, I know a lot of times when people age in barrels, they'll blend it with that beer minus the aging in the barrel just to kind of help tame some of that. This one smells very oaky to me. In fact, if Gary Vaynerchuk were to drink this beer, he would probably go, "Ah!" because it's very, very, very oaky. Sorry, I couldn't resist doing that. But, lots of oak. Definitely getting a good amount of coffee in there. Getting some of that vanilla character that you get, which is typical for oak-aged beers. There's some hoppiness. I can definitely tell there's a good amount of hops underneath there, really to kind of provide a lot of bitterness. And maybe even just a very faint touch of dark fruit. So, well, anyway, I've talked long enough, and now it's time to drink it. Yeah, there's a lot of oak in this beer, and you really get it on the palate as well. Not a whole lot of burn right off the bat, which is good. Again, I've been holding on to this one for a little over a year, so it's good to let these things sit for about that amount of time, just to kind of let that, really high-end heat kind of cool out a little bit. I'm getting a lot of dark caramel, espresso for sure. Definitely a good amount of bitterness from those hops. So it really tastes a lot like it smells, which is a very good thing. Mouthfeel on this one is, it's between medium and medium high. This is not a really viscous beer. I would say it's really a good mouthfeel. It's not chewy, but it's not watery either. From an Imperial Stout like this, you really want it to have a little bit of body so that you really feel like you're drinking something that big. But overall, just a really enjoyable beer. I think the only complaint I might have, and it's not a big complaint, but if somebody were to argue that it's really overly oaked, I might tend to agree with them. It's not offensive, but it's just so obvious that I don't think it lets some of those other flavors really kind of blend or come to the forefront as much as it does. I personally really enjoy that, but I could really see that being a problem for some of the other folks out there. But I've got that stickiness on my lips that you get from these bigger imperial stouts. The flavor is just lingering forever. You can take 1, 2, 3 minutes in between sips, and I have a feeling that you're really going to taste this. It would go great with a cigar. I know they call out here on the bottle that it would go really well with a breakfast burrito, eggs Benedict, hash browns, cheesecake, or creme brulee. But regardless of what you drink it with, I think you're going to enjoy it. You can drink it on its own, and I think that's going to make you pretty happy. So, well, my name is Mark Starr, guys. Thanks a lot again for coming back to another session, and until we get together next time, cheers.